Welcome to the episode 11 Reality Podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valera. On today's episode, we are going to continue our dive into the Squid Game, the challenge with episode 8. We are down to 20 individuals, actually, technically 19 if you watched episode 7, 19 individuals who are vying for $4.56 million. Before we dive in, let me get some house cleaning done real quick. If you're listening on podcast platforms, I would greatly appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. Maybe leave me a 5-star review wherever you're listening to your podcast. On the YouTube side of things, if you could do me a favor, hit that subscribe, hit the like button, maybe leave a comment on your thoughts on the show. I would greatly appreciate that as well. Reminder, I just want to ask you guys, would you guys be interested in potentially some Love in Reality merchandise? Let me know what you think. We are coming up on almost 1 year of the Love in Reality podcast, and I want to thank everybody at home for listening to the show. As I've seen my Spotify rap, and there is a lot of people that ended up with the Love in Reality podcast as their number one, not just the top 10, but number one podcast of 2023. I greatly appreciate the support on the show. And without further ado, let's jump right back into episode 8 of the Squid Game, the challenge, where we see 301 making that giant leap and he sticks the landing, right? So he sticks the landing. Obviously, 278 says, chill and take your time. She's not moving, and I don't blame her one bit. Someone speaks up and says someone else should take the chance for him, but we see him fall to his exit. Bye-bye, the Sun, who I think a lot of people had in their dark horse of potentially winning this entire thing. But with this game of chance, you never know who's going to come or go. But that being said, 301 out the door. Wasn't a fan much after his mother left, but without further ado, 278, it's all on her. Everyone is talking trash about 278, saying she's not a team player. Let me stop right here and reiterate one more time. This isn't a team game. We are down to like 17 people for $4.5 million. I don't owe any of you, not a single one of you, anything. If you've ever watched a competition reality show, you know it's cutthroat. You know there's backstabbing. And you know what? At the end of the day, you're trying to win. There isn't a top 3 prize. There's a top prize of $4.56 million. And I would want to win it. But everyone is behind. So obviously everyone behind 278 is moving up as she prepares to make the next move. She jumps and she makes it. She says someone needs to step up, and 51 steps up and makes the jump successfully. Right. I want to stop right here and say this. The way that 278 was able to get the others to step in front of her was one of the greatest gameplays in the history of reality television. She didn't do shit for anyone else before her. And when it was her turn, 301 got thrown to the wayside. This is amazing. 393 steps up to the plate, jumps, and falls. Another person instead of 278 is going, which is 418 goes, and everyone is telling him to make the call. He jumps and lands safely. And again, 278 is sitting there just chilling as another person walks right on by her. 429 goes and lands. And then, of course, the bearded dude turns around and asks his hero, 278, to pick a spot for him. She does, and he is safe. 51 makes a move, and now we only have 3 left. It's 23's turn, and everyone is rushing her, asking for advice, and then they shut it down. Everybody was like, hey, can you let me know what number I should do, or what should I go, left or right? And everybody's jumping in. 23's turn. Shut up, bitch, and go. She does, and she was eliminated. 278 is literally in the back of the line, just chilling. It's 254's turn, as and considering this was his idea, he's hugging everyone along the way. And to be honest with you, I didn't understand it. Like, we're hugging everybody. Like, this dude literally hugged, I think it was number 14 or 15. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but he hugs everybody on the way out. It was just hilarious. Like, everybody did this. His idea to play the game, it's hilarious that it laid out the way it did. This man was like all the way in the back of line, number 14, had probably a very good chance if somebody in front of him just guessed right 2 or 3 times, he could have made it to the finale or to the next round. Instead, he's gone out the door. 269 is up. He's nervous and everyone's talking to him. It's the last spot. He goes right and lands, but a pause, and he's a goner. This was incredible editing here, because when he lands, we're like, oh, he's good. Nope, just kidding. He is a goner. But here we go with 278, making it all the way to the end. This is by far the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I wish time would have ran out for some. I will say this. We saw the time ticking down. I would have loved somebody to not make it and the time runs out and then somebody would have been eliminated. It would have been an incredible scene. We are down to 12 and they come back into the dorm room and they have wiped all of the beds. 278 sees that she has a target on her back. We get a result from the game where we're down to the final 12 and the pot is up to $4.44 million. The next test is tomorrow and they will play face to face. Everyone is talking about how we got our people talking about the energy is weird since the group is smaller. 287 and 286 are talking about how they're going to ensure that they make it to the finals together. 278 begins to play the game, talking it over with the bearded guy number 16 and 251 saying they're over there building alliances and will vote them off one by one by one. I love that she continues to play the game. 31 is busting out the dance moves and I wish they would have just eliminated him for doing just that. All right, folks, it's test time. Before the test begins, they must pick a leader. Several people raise their hands. 286 speaks up and says 287 is voted the leader of the pack. When instructed, here are the rules of the game. When instructed, she must roll the dice. If she rolls a 6, one person will be eliminated. Before she rolls the dice, however, before she rolls the dice, she has to pick herself or someone else to be at risk for elimination. The test will continue until 3 people are eliminated. 422 announced they should roll for themselves, and it's like Russian roulette. Now, again, first off, don't tell me what to do. I'm going to do whatever I want to do, okay? I'm going to pick somebody else if I want to pick somebody else. I'm going to pick myself. I want to pick myself. If I feel confident that I'm not going to roll 6, then I'm not going to do it. I've got a 1 in 6 chance, 20% chance that I am going to go home. And I don't know if I want to run the risk of going home. So I'll roll whatever I do. Period. End of story. That being said, the tests begin. And a shock to nobody, 287 decides to not nominate herself against what everybody else was trying to say. She as a team, and then we're criticizing 278 for not being a team player, but then turns around not to be a team player. And she rolls, she gets ready to roll. So she picks 278. So if 287 rolls a 6, 278 will go home. 287 rolls the dice and she gets a 4. 278 is safe. She just fumbled the entire bag. 287 must choose to throw the die. 14 is up. He nominates himself because we quote unquote we ball. I ain't picking myself. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to. Before he goes, he says I've never rolled a 6. Won't start today. That should we literally should just be like, hey, this is a Squid Games captain. 418, we're going to eliminate you for saying something stupid. We cannot air that because you sound like a moron. Thank you. He's eliminated. But however, he rolls a 4. 16 nominates herself. And another 4. 355 nominates himself, rolls a 2. 18 is up, nominates herself, and down goes 18. Our first of 3 people is gone. She called it. She always says she rolls a 6. I would have thrown someone up. I mean, to be honest with you, if I'm the type of person that says, oh, how always roll 6s, I'm going up there. Hey, pick a random number. Pick a name out of the hat. I don't care. I'm rolling. If it's a 6, you're out the door. 278, of course. When 278 goes up, 418 says something about 287 targeting her, and 287 throws the biggest fit, saying she wasn't targeting her. Yes, you were. Again, this is a problem that I have. 278 is owning who she is as a person in this game, right? 287, this is your opportunity. Yeah, I did it. I did it because the last game she wasn't a team player. End of story. Instead, she backs down off of it. I didn't like that. I hate this. I hate that people. I hate them people. I hate 287. I hope she loses. 278 nominates 287 because that's what she did to her. She rolls a 5. 429 nominates himself and rolls a 3. 31 is up. He has nominated himself and bye-bye. Look, dance your ass out of the competition. That's what you get. Karma's a bitch. This is a different variation karma. You got karma because you danced. You can't dance. Bye. All right, so 31 and 18 have been eliminated. We are down to 451 rolls. Doesn't get a 6. 19 nominates herself and rolls a 3. 286 rambles for a minute. Says he will self-eliminate it, growing again, he rolls a dice and he leaves. Grow a pair and pick somebody else. But that's what you get. So bye-bye. Okay, we are down to 9 people. But on the flip side of this, what made this so great is 287 gets a bit of karma with her best friend going home. She might not have gone home, but 286 is gone. 278 is ecstatic and says exactly what I said and said karma is a bitch. She said Chad was sacrificed. Exactly. That's what you get for playing a game. Again, play the game, mess around, fuck around and find out. Isn't that what they say? So she did. What a crazy episode, folks. We are down to 9 individuals vying for $4.56 million and only 2 episodes remain. This episode will be jam-packed with episode 9 if you're listening on podcast platforms. If you're listening on YouTube, we got one more episode until the finale, guys, and we'll talk to you guys soon.